I had just stepped out of the cabin, suitcase still in hand, when a voice cut through the mountain air like a knife. Get out of that cabin right now before I call the cops! A woman stormed toward me, waving a clipboard as if it were a weapon. For a moment, I thought she was a deranged neighbor. Then I caught the glint of her name tag. Veronica Piton, president of the Pine Ridge HOA. She looked like a caricature of suburban authority. Perfect blonde hair that never moved in the wind. A crisp white shirt so stiff it might have been starched into armor. And that smug, managerial tone that screamed, "I'm in charge." "This cabin is HOA property," she barked. "Abandoned, seized for unpaid fees. We already have a buyer." I tightened my grip on the suitcase. My grandfather had built this cabin with his own hands. He'd left it to me 6 months earlier when he passed, and I had the deed and tax records to prove it. "Ma'am," I'd as evenly as I could, calling on the patience that had kept me alive in Iraq, "this property belongs to my family. Always has." She didn't want proof. She wanted a scene. Behind me, my daughter stirred in the back seat. 8-year-old Sophia stumbled out, clutching her worn teddy bear. Her sleepy eyes scanned the chaos before settling on me. "Daddy, why is the mean lady yelling at us? Why does she want to take Grandpa's house?" The innocence in her voice struck me like a hammer. For the first time, Veronica seemed to notice the child standing there. And instead of compassion, she sneered. "Little girl, stop creating an unprofessional atmosphere. This is a legitimate business matter." My jaw tightened. That's when she pulled out her phone and dialed 911, her voice booming for the entire neighborhood to hear. "Yes, officer. I need immediate assistance. We have an unstable veteran trespassing. He's got a child with him. I fear for our safety." Every word was a lie. Every syllable was calculated, and every neighbor within earshot was listening. Curtains twitched, doors opened, and faces emerged. Some curious, some judgmental. One man, younger, held a camera rig, filming like it was his moment to capture truth. Sirens cut through the quiet mountain air. A cruiser screeched to a stop, and an officer stepped out, hand brushing the cuffs at her belt. Before she could approach, the cabin door creaked behind me. Heavy footsteps. Then a commanding voice thundered, "Who just called my grandson an intruder?" The entire neighborhood froze. Veronica's face went pale as Judge Theodore Teddy Blackstone, my father, stepped into the sunlight. His presence carried the weight of decades in courtrooms. To everyone in Pine Ridge, he was authority incarnate. Sophia broke free from me and ran to him, squealing, "Grandpa Judge!" His stern features softened as he scooped her into his arms. Then his gaze shifted back to Veronica, cold, unyielding. "This cabin belongs to my family, and I've heard enough lies today." For the first time, I saw fear in Veronica's eyes, but the spectacle wasn't over. Another car pulled up, and a woman in a sharp suit strode forward, flashing a badge. "Detective Sarah Chen. I've been investigating irregular HOA property transfers in this area, and this address keeps coming up." The trap Veronica had laid for us was unraveling. Neighbors gathered closer. The cameraman murmured into his mic, broadcasting every moment. An HOA associate named Bradley shuffled forward, clutching a folder. His voice trembled. "I can't do this anymore. What we've been doing to families, it's wrong. Detective, I have records." Veronica's mask slipped, fury flashing across her face. "You spineless coward. You know what happens to people who cross me." The officer stiffened. The detective took notes. And then my father spoke again, his voice steel. "I've been conducting my own inquiry. Strange fees, false violations, even a bribe attempt directed at me last year." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Veronica staggered as if her knees might give out. That's when Mildred Kowalski, our elderly neighbor and my grandfather's old friend, stepped forward. Her voice carried more authority than Veronica's shrieking ever had. "I've been recording every conversation with Mrs. Piton. 6 months of threats, schemes, and worse." She held up a small recorder. She even bragged about targeting Ethan's grandfather as his health declined, waiting to pounce. The color drained from Veronica's face. Still, she tried to hold her ground. "All of this is circumstantial. You can't." But Detective Chen cut her off. "We have complaints filed in multiple counties. This isn't just a misunderstanding. It's fraud. It's organized crime." Before anyone could breathe, black SUVs rolled up. Agents in windbreakers spilled out, and a woman with short auburn hair strode forward. Special Agent Rebecca Walsh, FBI. "Mrs. Patan, you are part of a multi-state property fraud investigation." The words hit like thunder. But instead of collapsing, Veronica lashed out. With a sudden burst of speed, she lunged, straight for Sophia. "Touch me, and this child loses her house forever," she screeched, her arm cutting between us. Sophia froze, eyes wide, but her voice was steady. "You can't take our home. Great-grandpa promised it would always be mine." She pulled a folded letter from her jacket pocket and read aloud in a trembling but clear voice. "My dearest Sophia, this house will always be yours. Homes are made of love and memories. Nobody can take that from you." Her small hands clutched the paper like a shield. "Did anyone ever love you that much?" she asked Veronica softly. For a heartbeat, silence. Then Veronica's fury returned. "Sentimental nonsense. I have documents." But the FBI agent cut her off. "What you have is federal kidnapping, added to a long list of charges. Step away from the child now." More evidence poured in. Mildred revealed photos of Veronica meeting with a developer who promised her millions to clear out the neighborhood for a casino project. She even had recordings of Veronica boasting about harassing elderly residents until they collapsed under stress. Murder by intimidation. The crowd recoiled. Even the cameraman fell silent. Veronica's defiance crumbled. Detectives moved in with cuffs. Agents cataloged evidence. The neighborhood, once silent witnesses, now murmured in outrage. Sophia tugged my sleeve. "Daddy, is our house safe now?" I knelt beside her, holding her close. "Yes, sweetheart, it's safe." Her small voice carried across the yard. "Bad lady, go bye-bye." Laughter rippled through the tense air, breaking the last of the fear. My father's arm wrapped around us both, steady and warm. For the first time all day, I believed him when he said, "It's over." But deep down, I knew what we'd uncovered went far beyond one corrupt woman. This was just the beginning.